What's going on, Bottom Line viewers? It's Mitch here of the Bottom Line View for your Thursday night football recap between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears for week number 4. The Packers win it 35-14 in a game that was a lot more towards a blowout than it was a close game, a game that saw a delay, a game that saw a controversial hit, and much, much more. Tony Romo on the call with Jim Nantz. So there was a lot of Twitter on in this game, between the delay, the hit, the refs, the bad news Bears, and Aaron Rodgers and the Packers injuries. There's a lot of storylines from this game. I'm going to try and keep it short. It's just me here today, and I want to hear from you guys in the live chat as well. So hit me up in the live chat. What you guys think of this Bears-Packers game? Let me know your thoughts on the performances, the players, the injuries, and everything that happened during the game, and the hit, of course. So first off, Green Bay wins it 35-14 over the Bears, divisional NFC North matchup. The Packers now advance to 3-1 in their last game of September. So again, the Packers actually have averaged about a 3-1 record over the course of the past 4 years or so with Aaron Rodgers, this team, and they've been about 3-1 every September. So this is kind of the way that they've been starting seasons. And Chicago 1-3. Of course, with a big win last week over the Steelers, which made me think that this game would be a lot closer than it was. Now, this game was a lot closer in terms of performance than the score indicated, but a couple of things went really wrong for the Bears in this game. There was a lot of turnovers, a lot of stupid mistakes, and just overall bad news Bear-isms. There was fumbles. There was stupid plays by Mike Glennon. There was more stupid plays by Mike Glennon. There was giving short fields to Aaron Rodgers. There was the delay in the game. There was a lot of stuff that happened that kind of made this game seem like it was a lot more of a blowout for the Packers than it was. And sure, they were in control from start to finish, and you got to give them credit for that. But the Bears had so many more opportunities to score points in this game, and they completely let it go. The Packers, though, offensively, they executed when they needed to. Defensively, they stopped the run very effectively. And overall, that's what they needed to do against this Bears team. Their number one goal was to stop the run, and if they stop the run, they're most likely going to win. And that's exactly what happened. So let's get into the performances, the stats, and everything that happened. Let's go over the scoring summary first. So the game opens up with Davante Adams' 5-yard touchdown, and then Mike Glennon fumbles the ball. We get Randall Cobb with another touchdown for the Packers. So in a matter of 50 seconds, the Packers go up 14-0, and it doesn't look good from the Bears there on out. When the Bears are down in a game, you can pretty much seal it, send it, and deliver it because the Bears are done at that point. They can't go to their game plan offensively, which is run the ball, and run the ball more, and count on your defense to make some stops and win field position. Very much like the way that they did against the Steelers. This game didn't work out for them in that fashion because they went down early in this game, and they had an early mistake on offense, which cost them. Then they went down 21-0 with a 2-yard touchdown run by Aaron Jones, of all people. By the way, Ty Montgomery got hurt in this game with a chest injury, one of the big injuries for the Packers. He seems to be out long-term. They also have their rookie who's out, Williams. So Aaron Jones was the guy to get the call in place of them. Then you had the first touchdown for the Bears, which was Kendall Wright for 5 yards. Then bounce back in the third quarter with Jordy Nelson for a 4-yard touchdown. Jordy Nelson with another touchdown. And Jordan Howard with the last score of the game. So that was the scoring summary of the game. But in the first half and even in the third quarter, there were moments where the Bears were able to stop the Packers, but every single time the Bears would have momentum and run the ball effectively and pass the ball effectively down the field, eventually something would happen. They would have a fumble. They would have an interception by Mike Glennon. And by the way, Mike Glennon was awful in this game. There is no way around it. He was terrible. Mitchell Trubisky should be starting on this team. He should have won the job right off the jump. He was better in preseason. He should have won the job right off the jump. I understand he's being paid the same amount of money Mike Glennon is as Tom Brady, $14 million this year, same as Tom Brady. But Mitchell Trubisky's the better player. And if you actually want to win games, which I'm not sure that Chicago does at this point in time, but like Tony Romo, like Jim Nantz, we're talking about in this game, Mitchell Trubisky, even if he's young and inexperienced, he is so much more talented in terms of as a football player and as an athlete, and he also fits this offense a lot better. What they're trying to do is they're trying to run the ball, and Mitchell Trubisky can work off that. It can work some play action, can work with his mobility and throw on the run down the field. So what I don't understand is why Mike Glennon's in there outside of the $14 million that he's making. He's been given a run. They've won one game, and he's cost them a couple of games. So for me, Mike Glennon, I think, should be sat on the bench. 2 interceptions, fumbles, just terrible stuff from him. And then you also have, like, he turned the ball over 4 times. He was 21 for 33, 218 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. Running game was not effective. I did like what I saw from Tariq Cohen and a few select carries where he had excellent vision through the hole. He had 6 carries for 24 yards, but Howard was majorly the man in this game. 18 rushes, 53 yards, 2.9 yards per carry, and a touchdown. Not effective in this game. The Packers did a really good job up front, even without Mike Daniels, of containing the run. So that was a good thing if you're a Packers fan and you're worried about this defense. Like I've said before, it's more about their Packers secondary than it is about their front. They're usually pretty good at scheming out ways to stop the run, even against the Chicago offensive line that's pretty good and running backs that are pretty good. They did a good job of that. Receiving wise for the Bears, 4 catches, 51 yards, and a touchdown for Kendall Wright. Did have some nice plays in this game. Did have the touchdown. Zach Miller, two catches for 45 yards. Deontay Thompson had 5 catches for 45 yards. Cohen, 4 for 24. Bellamy, 3 for 36. Howard, 2 for 10. And Sims, 1 for 8. Defensively, they got a sack from McPhee, a sack from Floyd. And I thought overall the Packers actually did. And I'm going to give Mike McCarthy credit here in their offense. Usually I don't. Usually the Packers live and die off Aaron Rodgers. But in this game, I thought Mike McCarthy did draw up a decent game plan in terms of offensively, allowing his quarterback quick options in the passing game so that they weren't letting the Bears rush and letting them come after Aaron. I thought Aaron, delivered the ball quick, delivered it to his targets on time, and it was very fast. It was very fluid, very fast. It was very precision-like, and I just thought they knew coming into this game that they were weak at the tackle position. Both their tackles are hurt, so I thought the Packers did a good job of scheming up ways to get guys open and scheming up ways for them to deliver the ball quickly in the quick passing game. And that was a huge asset for the Packers, especially early on in this game where we kind of knew that it might be rough for this offensive line early on. But I really like how they came out and they ran the ball. And it was very effective early in the game with Ty Montgomery until he got injured. And then it kind of slowed down and the Bears sort of adjusted and they sort of wrapped that up. But the Packers did a really good job with that, I thought, just scheming from the very jump of the game and sort of getting the offensive line involved and getting Aaron throwing the ball quickly. So in terms of Aaron Rodgers, he threw for less than 200 yards, only 179 yards, but he didn't really have to throw for a lot of yards because a lot of the game spent running the ball and a lot of the game was spent in the Chicago Bears end because of the fumbles and because of the interceptions. So Aaron Rodgers, 18 for 26, very accurate, did his thing, 179 yards and 4 touchdowns. Hundley also saw some action in this game and went 1 for 1. Jones, 13 carries, 49 yards and 3.8 yards per carry with a touchdown, was called up big time as a third string running back on this team. I'm honestly surprised that the Packers had 3 running backs. Usually they only have 1 or 2 and usually they play Randall Cobb. Sometimes. Ty Montgomery, 5 carries, 28 yards. See what I mean? 5.6 yards per carry and didn't get a touchdown, but was close and had a very solid beginning to this game. Williams, 4 carries, 11 yards, also got injured. Jordy Nelson, 4 catches, 75 yards, 2 touchdowns tacked on at the end. Cobb had a touchdown, but not a lot of receiving yards. I thought the Bears secondary did a good job overall. Their defense did a pretty good job overall, to be honest with you, to play the Packers at home. They did a pretty good job. Yes, it says 35 points, but how many of those drives were actually long drives and actually drives that went the course of the field and actually, picked apart this defense? Not a lot. It was a lot off of Mike Glennon's stupid mistakes, and it was bad news bears, just like the title says. The defense, I thought that their pass rush was a little better in this game. They forced some, bad calls and bad throws. Clay Matthews had a sack. Clinton Dix had an interception, which he always kind of gets one of those every once in a while. Also had 8 tackles. Morgan Burnett had 9 tackles. They had a lot of injuries in this game. The other interception went to Bryce. But I thought the Green Bay defense, mostly the main thing that impressed me was their run defense. And I'm also impressed with the way that they adjust to their personnel, even though that they don't have a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball. I thought they did a pretty good job. Now, you're not covering world beaters out there. Kendall Wright as the number 1 option isn't exactly AJ Green like last week, but at least they did their job and they did it well. Now, that's my thoughts on the performances of all the players. Packers, overall, they did what they had to do. Aaron Rodgers delivered in the red zone when he needed to, but the Bears pretty much screwed this game up. The Bears screwed this up from being a close game. The Packers dominated from beginning to end, but they were given a lot of help from very stupid plays by the Bears in terms of fumbles, interceptions, and then just terrible, terrible, stupid penalties. Like that hit was terrible by Danny Trevathan. Now it's time to talk about it. Right to the head. Awful. And it almost seemed like John Fox was calling this game. Like AC tweeted, he's like, John Fox seems like he took the Packers -7.5. It was kind of interesting the way the game was kind of shaping up at the beginning. It seemed like the Bears were all over them, but because of their quarterback, they were terrible. So it was interesting. So I'm going to head to your guys' comments to see what you guys have to say. Hunter says that hit was so unnecessary. He says, saw a tweet that said Mike Glennon is the only quarterback in NFL history with 2 blindsides. Blindsides, if you're counting his eyes. Yeah, he's blind. Ryan says, dirty hit on Adams. Does Trevathan get suspended? I think he'll probably get suspended or at least fined heavily, but I'm guessing it will be a suspension because they've done suspensions like this for guys like Vontaze Burfict in the past, and this hit was just as bad, so I'm guessing he should get suspended, and I would guess it would probably be 2 or 3 games. Arian says, gonna pretend like I watched this game. Yeah, you don't watch any games. I don't know why you just pick a team to cheer for when you don't watch the games. That doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. But anyways, Packers win at 35-14. Those are my thoughts on the game. Terrible hit. Bad news Bears. Aaron Rodgers, the Packers get it done. Defense improved. They got back on track. Not much else to be said. Let's look ahead to see what they have ahead of them. So in week number 5, the Packers play the Cowboys in Dallas. That will be a test. That's a rematch of the NFC divisional matchup. That's definitely going to be a test for Green Bay's defense. And the way that Dallas's D-line and pass rush is playing, that's going to be an interesting test for the offensive line of the Packers. Demarcus Lawrence is leading the league in sacks. So I know that Dallas's defense isn't excellent, and it should still be a shootout. But Dallas will give Green Bay some problems next week because of the way that they've been rushing the passer and because of those injuries. And it's going to be interesting to see if Green Bay can run the ball or establish any balance. Not that Aaron Rodgers usually needs it at all, but with that defense not being very good, you kind of always want to run the clock. Also, Green Bay gets another test on the ground next week against Dallas. This is going to be a really good game. I'm looking forward to it. That's a 4:25 Eastern time start, and that's going to be a really, really fun game to watch. As for Chicago, they play Minnesota, another divisional matchup at home. They've been a lot better at home. They should be able to be competitive in that game. But with Mike Glennon playing as bad as he did today, they're not going to win any games. I hope to see Mitchell Trubisky soon because I think he's much better, and I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. But we'll see what happens. So that's my recap for week number 4, Thursday Night Football. It's Mitch of the Bottom Line View. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did and you're new, subscribe to the channel. Also, like the video if you have not. And make sure you hit that notification bell for all the newest updates on the channel. I'm happy to announce that we will be joined on the channel by a new member who's currently going to school, sports media school with me here in Canada. And he is going to be covering some NBA because I don't have all the time in the world to do NFL, NHL, WWE, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to get an NBA guy in here, and he's going to do some previews for you. They're going to be out very soon, and we're happy to have them. And we're also looking for more recruits as well. So we're going to have a lot more content just free flowing because not as many guys. I won't have to be focused on so many things. Dylan won't have to be spread out across so many things. So stay tuned to the Bottom Line View. It's only getting bigger and better. It's Mitch. Peace.